Hello friends, welcome to my channel. In this video I will give you a brief introduction to my physical asset plugin for the Godot engine. As you know, Godot by default doesn't have a physics asset editor, so I decided to make one myself, and I decided to include there in this editor all the features that Godot is missing. Let's start. I have a cat here, and cat will always try to talk with me during my explanations and will distract me from cat distracts me from I'm not native English speaker, and because of that it's kinda not that easy to talk in English and explain things, and while in the background cat tells his meow. It's not that easy. So by default Godot has this skeleton and create physical skeleton. Let me show you how it works. And as you can see, one of the reasons why I created my own plugin with my own algorithm was this. This is you can see that this bone goes wrong, and some bones doesn't have. By the integrated algorithm doesn't allow you to generate bones properly, and this is the problem actually. Not talking, and in here I'm not talking about that we can't change by default, like book change some joint types. It's in joints by default in here, and we can't test this, but this plugin provides to user possibility not only to generate bones but to test them. In the right inspector panel we can see all the settings that plugin provides, but let's start from the beginning. Before to create let's just reload this scenario. To create physical asset, we should inherit from this physics asset scene, and this scene has its script. This scene has bindings that will force any skeleton that is added to our inherited scenes to the physics asset scene. If we drop here a skeleton, it will have physics asset editor on the right panel. This works only inside of the scenes that are inherited from here. So you can just edit your physics asset, right? You can save this scene, for example, inside of the physics asset folder and work out of there. Then you can just edit it, you can fill the bones, you can do necessary things, and then just copy asset that you are generated and move it out of I should say that I'm working from hard disk drive, and that causes lags. I can't do anything with this, it's just hard disk drive, and so after you generated your physics asset, you can just copy it from this scene to your own project scene. This is just an editor, and this honestly it's not just an editor. So let's just continue. Let me just delete nodes. This default skeleton node doesn't have one necessary thing. Godot doesn't have master pose. If you work with the Unreal Engine, then you know that there is master pose component, and Godot doesn't have this. And also Godot doesn't have things like components. Godot just doesn't have any components, and it can't load nodes by reference. So I solved this by writing my own skeleton node. It's a combined skeleton. We just pick up that and select it. We can load into the combined skeleton custom resource, which is this resource. All these resources are kept inside of the skeleton.dat folder in here, and they can be extracted. Any skeleton can be extracted as this resource and it just can be loaded in here. So let's select any resource. For example, we can select Redify that I'm working on. My project was, or my project works on the Redify rig, and once we selected it, we can just press build, and it will build the rig. Also, you should note that since this rig is exported as on the Unreal Engine basis, I'm not talking about this one. I'm talking about Auto-Rig Pro. I'm working on the Auto-Rig Pro, so let's build it. This will load also the scale. It will preserve the scale. So if you just open it, or maybe it's not in here. Anyway, doesn't matter. It can load scale, or it can just not load, based on your settings. You can always rebuild your skeleton when we open the scanner. It can scan shield is related to by default Godot doesn't make physical bones to follow the armature, but I solved this problem inside of the script. Script can make align physical bones. They will follow during animation, but in this demo file you won't have any of those. So let me just okay, and let me check this one. Oh, fortunately I didn't post my animations. I don't want to share my animations. These animations, yes. And let me show you how it will work with the physical bones and how they will follow extended skeleton. If we just press, for example, hinge, maybe pin, generate, and as you can see, it moves with the skeleton. Our physical bones stay attached. I should say that this is not that much of necessary, but this scan shield is related to that. It will scan the generated shields every time you update them. So it mostly works automatically, you don't need to touch it. You can clear the generated bones in here. If you just press clear, it will. And we can press build. This is how it works. Next, let's go over home scene. Next thing, let's generate actually our physical bones. Physical bones can be generated using rules list. This is the kind of tip how to read these rules. You can read it yourself. There is notes, and this plugin, my plugin, utilizes also wiggle bones. We can even generate them. For example, we can just wiggle this location and generate it, and it will generate that type of bones, and they will work. Or maybe we can just generate raw bones. As you can see, it just kind of create these strange things, but wiggle bones are actually working with this project. But I do not recommend you to to generate them. And I do not recommend you to generate this manually like this. You can just breathe for each bone name in here. It's annoying. What instead I am recommend to use is just generate physical bone, pick up some joint types, maybe you want hinge, just generate for them, and then get rid of the, for example, facial bones. This rig has facial bones in it. I won't do that because it will take a long time. Then just simulate it until it works. As you can see, though, because of the facial bones and they are a lot of here, they create mess. And not only that, there is like, I don't see it. No, somewhere in here it should be. Yeah, this is big capsule, and pelvis relate physical collision shape. Let's just resize it. Let's make it smaller. and move it up in here. Root motion, and add, what is it, collision shape. Probably it's too small, so it doesn't matter. So just resize necessary bones, create physical skeleton, simulate it, and once you're happy with it, just copy them with physics tree into your own rig. Okay, that's fine. Also, I should say that you can change the joint types on the fly. So, for example, I want pin joint. I can just kind of change joint type, and it will change pin joint. Maybe they doesn't visible because of the business. I don't remember, but there should be pin joint. If we just select bone and go to the joint, yeah, we have pin joint. Let's simulate with the pin joint. I should tell that different joints will give you different results, and different joints will give you different results. So this is how it is. These different body types. For example, you can generate boxes. These can maybe 6 DOF and generate for up. This will generate boxes instead of the capsules, and you can simulate that, and with boxes it will be a little bit more stable. These boxes can be tweaked as well. So what else I want to tell you? After you happy with your result, just press red pattern, and it will collect all the bones that are currently on the scene, no matter if they are legal. It will collect rigid bodies, legal bones, and their joints, and will put them into the rules list. So you can just save it like this, and it will preserve this rules list for your next update. You just then work with rules, because why these rules exist? Because generate for all bones, generate for the head, and for other unnecessary things, and you probably don't want that. So just red pattern and process rules. Use this to don't kinda, not to delete all the unnecessary bones again and again. This is annoying. So this rules list exists for that purpose. And also we can just select all the physical bones. If we select them, it will automatically select all of them. You don't need to why is this functionality exist? Because if you select it like this, it will select your collision shapes as well, and instead you will have to always sit down like that and only then select them. This is very terrible, right? So instead you can just press one button inside of the combined skeleton, select physical bones, and then just you can go to the joint constraints. If they have the same joint, you can just click limits, you can disable, and this will work for each of the bone. So we go to the combined skeleton. I'm sorry for the lags, it's just how it is. And this new constraint will behave differently. So this is how editor works. This is how the bone works. This is how everything works in here. That's all. That's probably everything that I wanted to tell. Red pattern. Just select. Double check. Okay, let me just fix it before I'm not published it yet, so don't worry. On UI we have some those effects UI, red pattern, generate pattern, whether we have save ever. Okay. All other is confirmed. Next, we're gonna just come save rules. Yeah. That's it. Save this one because you know it will store rules inside of the meta fields. So you can have multiple skeletons inside of the scene, and you can have different rule sets on them. This works. Okay, that's probably it. As you can see, simulation works, generation works, like everything works. I didn't show you probably rigid bodies. Let's generate rigid bodies. It also generates like by default, but it also sets joints for rigid bodies. I should tell you one thing, that rigid bodies by default will have static mode, and you will need to kind of make it dynamic inside if you want to simulate. But if you want to simulate ragdoll. But in the most of the time, rigid bodies or kind of this type of bodies use it as hitboxes. They shouldn't have kind of they doesn't need a ragdoll effect, but still it generates joints if you want to work with 6 dot joints with the rigid bodies in here. You can just take my plugin. It's MIT license, by the way, so you can just take it and make it yours without any problems. So it's just kind of this how this works. That's probably it. Yep, thank you for watching. Hope you will like this plugin.